What's up, Urban Acolyte fam? My name is Prince, and I'm an Urban Acolyte. And I want you guys to check out this Bruce Lee meme that popped up in this martial arts group here on Facebook. I'm gonna read it to you, and this is what I was getting ready to do before the young lady got assaulted. And sent me on a bit of a rant in the other video. All right, so the meme reads, "A teacher is never a giver of truth. He is a guide, a pointer to the truth that each student must find for himself." Now, I'm not sure Bruce Lee actually said this. It is attributed to him. Maybe he did. There was the guy who posted it said, "I don't believe this. I'd rather there just be a direct, objective exchange of information with no guesswork involved." So I think that this quote from Bruce Lee probably came about in his later years when he got deeper into Krishnamurti. One of Bruce Lee's students was on the Ken Gillette's Internal Fighting Arts podcast, and he said that Bruce Lee was very fond of this one particular story that Krishnamurti told. And the way the story goes is there was this person, right? And he's coming out of church, and the devil approaches him and says, "I'm going to give you the truth," right? And so he said, "Come back here tomorrow and I will give you the truth," right? The truth about everything. And so as the man was walking away and was like, "Okay, I'm gonna come back tomorrow," one of the other lower angels or whatever, actually it was one of the angels, is like asking the devil, like, why are you gonna give him the truth? You know that if you give him the truth, you'll be defeated. And the devil said, "No, because once I give him the truth, he'll write it down and make it a system. And then it's no longer the truth," right? Because it has become systematized. So I feel like, let me look at the meme again, because I forgot it all. Okay, a teacher is never a giver of truth. He's a guy, right? So if the teacher were to give that person the truth, that is the teacher's truth. It's not their own truth, right? And this actually is a very Buddhist saying. It's actually it's the Kalama Sutra that is in all the Ili Chin. That's my art, if you don't know, if you're new to this channel. That's the sutra that we stress the most, which basically says, don't believe anything that anyone says, even the Buddha, until you have investigated it on your own, right? And that's really like one of the hearts of Buddhism, right? People think, well, they sit and they meditate and they believe in enlightenment and reincarnate, and it's like, no, that's actually no. You're examining the mind to search for truth, your truth. Why have you arrived at this truth, right? That's what a good teacher does. A good teacher is a guide, right? They transmit the path, but it's like, don't mistake the path that you're walking. This is it. I have arrived. You haven't arrived. You're on the path. You're on the destination. You haven't arrived anywhere, right? Alan Watts has a parable that he talks about. It's one of the things that he talks about in like ministry, people going into ministers, right? Is a minister is a person, they carry people, they ferry people from one place to another, right? And what happens is they are the ferryman. You get on the boat or on the ferry, you cross the river, whatever, from one bank to the other, and you're here, and you get off here at your destination. And the ferryman, the minister, a lot of times they will begin to confuse the raft for the destination that I'm ferrying people across, and then the people being ferried, they get confused, and they're just always stuck on the raft. They're stuck on the ferry, right? This is the truth. This is the destination, and they're just going back and forth, and they never actually get off, right? And the minister, the problem is, well, if I let them get off, then who's going to pay me? There's no one left to pay me. The same thing with a lot of teachers. The more people I pack into my school, the more that's good for making a living. But if they arrive at the truth, if they arrive at their destination, then who's gonna pay me? And some of my friends who teach other styles of martial arts commented. Guru Jerome Teague, who I talked about in lots of other videos, he teaches close quarter combat, Filipino like stick fighting, Kali or Eskrima or Arnis, whatever you want to call it. And he does a lot of like knife and gun retention stuff with law enforcement and like military type. Sorry, these like bugs are getting in here, like getting in my face because I'm sweating. I guess they're attracted to the sweat. Get out of here. So he commented, like in the Eskrima world, a lot of teachers who do a lot of fancy stuff, but they're not really good teachers. They're not really teaching anything, but they're just very flashy and fancy, and it looks cool, and they attract a lot of people. Teachers that have slick marketing, right? They've got their own videographers, and they're putting stuff together that looks like, it looks like they're, trying to offer up their services to be part of the next Jason Bourne movie that they're working on with the guy who plays Hawkeye. I guess is going to team up with Bourne, and there's going to be a new Bourne Identity movie, something like that. Like they're trying to audition to be the stunt team for that or something, like this Hollywood production. And people see that, they see the flash, they see the style, they see all of that, and they're attracted. And he's like, but these guys, they can't teach. They're not teaching anything. They're just building up these big followings, and their students are basically patrons. And the article touches on that, right? That a lot of people view, oh, you're a good teacher because you've got a big school and you've got all this stuff. Your school looks nice and it's clean. But what Bruce Lee was really getting at, one of the reasons he closed his schools was he said, for the art of Jeet Kune Do to work, it has to become your own art. Jeet Kune Do is not my Jeet Kune Do, Jun Fan Kung Fu, which became Jeet Kune Do. The way I express it is not the way you should express it, because I'm Bruce Lee. I have Bruce Lee talents. You have Ted Wong talents. You have Taki Kimura talents. You have Dan Inosanto talents. Your Jeet Kune Do is not my Jeet Kune Do. Your expression of these arts is not my expression of these arts. We might have some similarities, but we're not the same. We have different talents. We have different personalities. So when he closed his schools, the one in Seattle, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, the 3 schools, and only wanted a small group of students and only trained 2 or 3 to 5 at a time, it was so he could, or actually he was doing like personal instruction, like one-on-ones. It was so that he could get to know them on an individual level, so that this philosophy could become their philosophy. That's something that article gets at. Another thing that it gets at is just people not understanding the art. There is an art to teach, of teaching, right? I had a discussion with my Kung Fu brother, Ash Higgs, and he was asking, like, why do you want to go and study with the Vanderbilt Kung Fu Club? Because they're doing Chin style Tai Chi and Bagua. Studying Chin style Tai Chi and studying Bagua is not going to make you better at Ili Chin. Because I kept saying, if I study with them, it's going to make me better at Ili Chin. And, Ash knows that I understand the specificity principle. Specificity principle is basically, if you want to improve at this specific skill, the way you improve is by training that specific skill. If I want to dunk a basketball, if I walk down the street to Ted Rhodes Golf Course and I go on the putt-putt green and putt golf balls all day, it's not going to make me better at dunking a basketball, right? Because I'm not training to improve that specific skill. Going to the green and going to the putt-putt green and putting all day is going to make me better at putting if I want to play golf, right? It's not going to make me better at basketball. Might help me concentrate on shooting free throws, but even then I'm not working those muscles, I'm not working that skill. I'm just improving at concentration, and that's it, right? But the concentration is going to be better concentrating it putting golf balls, right? So my point is, so his point was, if you want to improve at Ely Chin, you need to start an Ely Chin group. You need to teach Ely Chin. One thing, I like collecting forms. That's where I am at this point in my life. So I wanted to go there and learn some Chin style forms. I've always wanted to learn Bagua. I want to learn the Chin style weapons because Ely Chin has no weapons. We're all empty hands. But why I really wanted to join, why I really plan on studying with them in the fall, is because the faculty advisor, the guy who teaches the club, is a college professor. He teaches he teaches classical guitar at the music school, so he is a teacher, right? He teaches college courses to college students. He teaches a kung fu club at Vanderbilt University, one that's supposed to be the Harvard of the South or something. So I'm really going there to learn, to observe the teacher, to learn from him how to teach, right? The art of teaching. Yes, it means I have to step outside, and somebody could say, well, you can start teaching and improve, and you improve at teaching by teaching. Yes, but like I said, there is an art to teaching, there's a science to teaching. The word is pedagogy, right? I had classes on this in my Christian education classes in seminary, right? And we read books and this and that. And I remember also, it's funny, like all my religious study stuff is coming back. I had a professor named, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Smith told us one time that he knew pretty early on that he wanted to grow up and become a teacher. I guess it happened later that he decided he was going to become a college professor. And he said from that point on, he always kept a notebook of things that I will do when I become a teacher, things that I won't do. And every time a teacher did something he didn't like, and this was not like they just, the teacher came to class and they farted today. No, it was like things that they always did, their methods of teaching. He'd write this down in a book, and these are things I don't like. I'm not going to do these things when I become a teacher. These other things that I do, I'm going to work on those because I like them. I see that it gets a good response out of the students, and so he's basically was by teaching himself how to teach by observing every teacher that he had, right? I want to teach one day, and it's not, I want it to like an ego thing. That's like my calling, right? That's why I do these videos. That's why I'm on YouTube. Like even, I wake up some days like, man, I'm not getting through to people. This Star Wars project is not working. And then it's like, well, what would I do? Another YouTube channel? Let me hit my fitness channel harder. Maybe some people will move over and I'll find a new audience, right? No matter what I do, I'm gonna end up teaching, right? Not in a classroom, not in a school. I have something different to teach, right? I'm sure at some point in life, I will meet the people I need to meet to progress, to get to that point where, I am talking on spiritual, mental, matters of the mind, right? I don't even want to say spiritual because that's where I am right now. I'm not at that level to even use that word. And I don't want to be confused with this is the end all be all. It's like Bruce Lee said, a teacher is just someone who shows you the path. You have to walk the path and you have to arrive at your own destination, right? Enlightenment might be enlightenment, but it's not going to be exactly the same for everybody, right? It's just not, because we're the same, but we're different, right? We see things from different perspectives, and that's what makes the world beautiful. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Make sure to check out more videos from this channel, especially the one that YouTube has recommended for you. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.